Solution, search, competition. Solution, search, competition. I'm trying to come up with a name for a competition among various economic systems, economic solutions, political solutions, solutions in order to heal the wound which is festering throughout the world. All of the combat, nonstop war, nonstop monetary scarcity for the common people, porn, idolatry, hedonism, adultery, all of the, hey sis, what's going on? My sister Linda Martian is here. And it's cool because I'm in the School of the Prophets, where we think we have a pretty good proposal. We think we have the best proposal, but nobody listens. So I'm willing to do the work for all the other proposal people. Like there's one group, like it's Austrian economics. I know these other guys that are doing this thing called Star Tribe Hours, which is a self-issued currency. Matt Leffler, what is up, my brother? He's cool dude here at We Are Change Tampa. I moved to Colorado and launched a local currency called Mountain Hours, which was tested by Bill Still. We made a video of it. And we had a lot of people talking about debt forgiveness and Jubilee out there. And we need to do this now in Tampa. So I know how to do that kind of stuff. I have experience doing it. However, nobody really cares because it's a lot of work to set it up. You have to know what the end game is to have the vision. And that's what Yah does. He operates through his vision so that his servants will do his good will in order to accomplish his will by the outpouring of his Holy Spirit, right? So most people like that, what are you talking about? Richard Davis, what's up? Rick Davis, you changed your name, dude. So earlier this year, for instance, Rick Davis was here and he's Torah observant and he knows like we're doing videos and we talk. This is how we talk. When Jim Callahan and I are building pools, I was with a banker yesterday and I was like, hey, do you know what the usurer's harvest is? The usurer's harvest, which is war. War is the usurer's harvest. And and she didn't get triggered, right? And that's the whole thing is we got to tap it down, all the heavy duty emotional stuff and just say, you know, there's some people that are into communism. That's their thing. There's some people that are into capitalism, but what they always do is it's never like, I'm going to do communism and we're going to have this space over here and like, hey, like, good luck to you. I hope that thing works out. It always ends up in a war, right? They always make it seem as if, hey, we're going to do it this way. Therefore, it makes no sense to me because, the Amish do it. You know what I mean? The Amish are doing their own thing. They're not bothering us. There's various American Indian tribes and they got their own thing going on. So why is it that we can't just have a unemotional debate about communism and there'll be people saying, well, the Bolshevik communism, that's not the way you do it. That's not real communism. And then if you talk to capitalists, they'll go, well, we don't have a capitalist system. This is like corporatism, crony capitalism. So it's like, it all means there's debate as to how it's implemented. And then you end up debating a straw man because it's not the real thing, because this isn't the true capitalism. Just like I say, this isn't the true Christianity, right? So rather than us just being at each other's throats, let's have a musical, fun, enjoyable sort of competition, like a star search, but not for nonsense stars, but actually for solutions, for a plan. And the plan could be that there's 10 plans, right? 10 plans, and each of the planners got 10 space. And, they got a state or two to work in, or a county or two, or whatever. I actually talked about this proposal with Sheriff Richard Mack a few years back. It recorded it. So the point is that what we're doing right now is doomed. It's a house divided against itself shall not fall. So the point is that we shouldn't be trying to force our belief system upon all these other people, rather more like the Amish going like, we just need some space. You guys can fight and destroy one another. We're just going to farm and try to be self-sufficient and try to keep our kids from running off into Babylon. So the point is that this can all be accomplished without war, without conflict, and it's just an open debate. And basically, this is the general vision for this solution. And like, just so how you can understand, like the other day, I did a post where you type it in and it's like flowers, and it says, what is the greatest nonviolent threat to Babylon? What's the greatest nonviolent threat to Babylon? And I have a diverse group of people. Some of them are like friends. I have constitutionalist people. I have some people that they think the white man is the devil, the blue-eyed devil. Like black nationalists, and like he's a cool dude. Like I talk to him all the time. Like I don't get triggered over all this stuff. Like and it's very important that you're able to look at things from the perspective of, hey, I can see why you might think that white people are Esau of the Old Testament. I can see like, yeah, you got some good points there, right? And the point is that we need to be able to have those discussions without it turning into like just the that there's. But it's very important to understand there are some people, there are very powerful forces on this earth who positively do not want us to have this sort of collaborative, nonviolent, enjoyable song singing. We can just sing some songs. Like it doesn't have to be so bad, right? Sing some Bob Marley songs, right? By the rivers of Babylon, right? The captivity that we're all living in, and how simple this is to heal with the JewDebtRevolt.com, JewDebtRevolt.com. That's my portal, and that I could talk to a bank. I could talk to anybody about it because it's the good news. So part of the good news is that everybody should be validated. Their opinion, if rather than we say, no, you're just wrong, and the last time we tried that, millions of people died. So therefore, we need to not even talk about it. So there should be no topics which we're unwilling to address, because we have to address every in order for there to be justice, we have to validate the sincere concerns of every group among us, so that we can all figure out, like, number one, we have to identify the problem. Like, so if we had a flat tire, we could figure that out. You know what I mean? We could fix a flat tire. If we're all riding in the bus, let's say there's 12 of us that have different ideas, and we're different solutions, and we're all riding in a bus, and like we all have our different outfits on, like goth looking Antifa or whatever. Right? And like you have a capitalist, he's sitting there in his tie, and we're but if we got a flat tire on that bus, we could all cooperate enough, particularly if it was hot enough or cold enough, that we could collaborate and we could fix that tire, right? So in a similar cooperative fashion, we can talk about this stuff. So anyway, I made this post, and a bunch of people, so the post again is, what is the greatest nonviolent threat to Babylon? So we have to define what Babylon is. We have to, talk about political like government, who makes the laws, right? Can man make laws? Can only God make laws? So we got to talk about all that kind of stuff, and like find out in the Bible, like we can use the Bible, and if some people want to use a Quran or whatever, bring your best solution we edify everybody. Like we can make it fun, and people do their proposal in the form of a song for like in 2 minutes, 3-4 minutes, whatever. So I was trying to elicit people to give their opinion. So there's a guy I know that's into monetary reform. Actually, a lot of people I know, almost everybody that I pay attention to is involved in monetary reform. His name is Jason Nelson, and he has like a token-based currency that's valueless. So we just need these tokens. So there doesn't have to be any usury attached to them, right? Some guys. So anyway, the solutions to Babylon. One guy goes, cannabis. I'm like, darn tootin'. Okay. Joshua Robert Castaneda says cannabosum, which is Strong's number 7070 from the Hebrew Bible, and that's calumis from Exodus 30:27. Cannabis is in the Bible. So the point is, there's another couple guys that like Joby Weeks put in blockchain or Bitcoin. And so the point is, like, I know Joby really well. If it wasn't for Joby, I never would have gotten Mountain Hours going, because he was somebody that knew the owner of the Dredge, Steve Rockney, and he put the first transaction together. And it's by virtue of him having a network that we got the first couple businesses up. And then because people knew that they could spend it at the Dredge, and everybody knew what the Dredge was, that became the magnet for currency, so to speak, or at least the dominant backer. So part of my solution is that this property will be the dominant backer in the same manner that the Dredge in Breckenridge, Colorado was the chief backer. The difference is with the Dredge is up in Breckenridge, right? So it's up at 10,000 feet, right? That's part of its unique selling proposition. And it's the highest floating restaurant, I guess, in the US or the world or something like that. So anyway, the point is, because people knew that, wow, I'm always willing to go to the Dredge to have dinner. They're like, yeah, I'll take it. Meaning a new business would go, yeah, if they're taking it, I'll take it. Because when I issue, they to join the Mountain Hours barter network, they issue their own money in the same manner that they can issue a gift certificate. So the point being is that, thank you, Joby, for that. And Joby is real deep into Bitcoin. And we've already agreed that we're going to have a debate between usury-free economics, biblical economics, and blockchain and Bitcoin. And so this is a good opportunity. Like, I'm willing to, carry Yah's banner into this competition. And I'm very eager for others to bring forward their solutions as well. And that's the whole point, is for everybody to have a interactive, participatory, rather, like Babylon has all of these competitions with judges and people evaluating talent for singing and dancing and just all sorts of, I always think of it as like stupid human tricks. So for any amount of money or fame, people are willing to do virtually anything, including to pimp out their daughters and have them dress in inappropriate clothing. So the whole system that we're under today is based upon prostitution. All of us are prostituting ourselves because we all have to bow to the cash is king God, the one world currency called usury. And there's people who have dedicated their entire life to the mission of exposing the banking system and the tyranny which we live under, which is invisible to a very significant portion of the population. Well, we want to make this as like, hey, these guys are willing to talk about it all. We don't get triggered. The people that are deep into the truth movement, you're willing to consider everything from each side. Therefore, when you get kickback from an opinion, like, you already know what they're going to say. You know what I mean? You pretty much already know what their response is in most instances if they're triggered, because their trigger mechanism is based upon a Pavlovian response. It's all emotional, and you know what they're going to say, and almost racist or anti-Semite or whatever. The point being is that this is not about hate and blame. This is about solutions. We have a flat tire and we want to fix it. So we have a problem. We want people coming with solutions and being positive and fun and cooperative. And okay, so I got these different guys. I'm gonna make the video that I'm making right now. I'm gonna send to all of these guys on this list, giving them the opportunity to present something. And they would be, think of Shark Tank. It has some judges, right? Well, in the same manner, we will give varying proposals before the judges, but the judges, they just decide, what they want to back. They're not deciding which is the winner. You know what I mean? It's kind of, more of a, I support this solution. I'm willing to carry the banner for a particular solution. So, okay, I wanted to show you the rough. So like some of the judges that we could have, for instance, would be like Jordan Peterson, like internet celebrity type of people. Joe Rogan, Amy Goodman, Cynthia McKinney, Cindy Sheehan, Sheriff Richard Mack, Russell Brand, Sherry Honkala, Anthony Michels, Henry Garman. And these are some people are gonna be like, man, I never heard of that guy. I never heard. Well, here's the deal. The more you are a threat to Babylon, the less interviews you get because you get cut off. There's within the control scheme, there is an ability, because here's the deal, they have full spectrum dominance through the money system, as is noted by, I should put him in here as, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of his name. He's the former Marine. Can somebody text that in? I can't think of his name right now. So anyway, the point is that we can solve this. This is a solvable problem. This is something that we can handle. Come on, guys. One of you guys know the name of the dude I'm talking about. He's the former Marine who lived like Hawaii. He supports the Palestinians. Somebody's got it. Okay, so it'll pop up as I'm coming out, like Adam Kokesh, but it's not Adam Kokesh. Okay, so we have this panel of judges where they just basically, I like that idea. You get picked out from a selection or whatever, and then they advance, and you can add music and like short stories so that you get to know the people and you get to know or not just the people, but the tribe which they represent. So the biblical solution to all of this is Exodus. So those that like the Exodus, they would, get together and say, well, what's the benefit of living in Yah's kingdom on earth called paradise? I don't even know why we're having a competition, but we should, you guys, stiff-necked fools, they say. So anyway, we can, that's a song by Bob Marley. You should check it out. Okay, so you give these various proposals in the form of music and short stories and song and make it fun, make it dance. You know what I mean? The Macarena for Austrian economics. You know what I mean? Make it. Give your best pitch. Give the best elevator pitch. Use whatever persuasion techniques supports your cause, along with rhetoric and all those sorts of things. So my plan is to take this video and I'm gonna I'll put it together and edit it a little bit more so that people can have a short version. They don't have to listen to the whole thing. Give them a quick synopsis and find out, I don't know how to get, several of the people that I listed, I know how to get a hold of. And I think some of them would be interested. And initially this would all be done virtually because we don't have the money to bring people in just yet, all that. But eventually that's how it could be. There's no reason why it could not be if people are interested in this. And I think they are. I think they're tired of the bickering and like, hey, let's just get to some solutions and be grown-ups and move forward. So, for the various people, we can give like an audition where they say, well, this is why I would like to be a judge on the show. And we could call the show like Slave the Dragon Challenge, or who has the best solution, or the proposal, or the title of this video, which is Solution Search Competition. Like, these aren't necessarily the name that we'll end up with at the end. But I wanted something that everybody was very clear as to what we're doing. We're focusing on solutions, and we're going to edify everybody's opinions to just generalize. We can't have every little nuance thing. So it'll be like communism, right? You'll have fascism or nationalism, right? You can have each group pitch it. And this would be a forum for it, and a venue in which everybody can be heard. And then the audience can also ask additional questions to think of all the time and energy which is being put into the investigation of the Kavanaugh Supreme Court thing going on. And I don't watch news because it's just all divide and conquer brainwashing. It's just theater in order to keep the masses in conflict with one another. However, if that is your thing, if your thing is that you want to vote and we need to, get the Republicans obeying the Constitution, or whatever your deal is, pitch it. So there should be a guy from that team that pitches it. That's one of their more articulate people, like, I don't know, Peter Schiff, or, whatever. You guys pick a guy for each of your groups, and let's say we go with, initially we'll just go with whoever responds immediately, but I will put it forward to people that, say that they are communists or whatever, that they are given time, and people that say that they're, Austrian economics guys, complete anarchist type people. There's some very, very articulate anarchists. So this will be a very interesting thing to invest our time in, because it's focused on the root evils. Who makes law? Who has authority to collect taxes? Can one initiate violence? Right? Is that lawful to initiate violence? So anyway, like, we'll discuss all these things and make it interesting. I'm gonna edit this video, and then I'll send it out to these various people. And if any of the guys that are listening here, if any of you that are listening right now, you can type in your solution. And I'll leave on this note. Ezra Pound was a poet who was the mentor for four Nobel Peace Prize Nobel poet laureates, right? So they're all poets. So, they weren't advocating murder or anything like that. So he was he was a political dissident because he fought the usurers, and he spoke about a thing called usury. And very few people even know what this word means, but it's in the Bible, and it's condemned as a sin to be punished at the highest capital offense. So the point is that he died. He at one point in time, before movies and radio, like, he was a guy that people respected because he was able to create poetry. And a third of the Bible is poetry. And some of the people that are most respected in the whole world are musicians because they take difficult political stands and all that sort of thing. The thing is, the ones that take the greatest stands and actually threaten this system at its deepest core, like Ezra Pound, these martyrs just in the last 50 years, people don't even know who they are. So his sin was that he explained how the bankers were financing each side of World War II. And FDR put him in jail. right? This is a fact. This is a very simple thing to look up. And what another thing he also explained was that the fact that the all of the root cause evils of on earth is the monopoly over money. And until we threaten that monopoly, we will continue to live as debt slaves as we do today. But because the money is all backed by us, there's, it's basically 7 billion to 1 in debt slaves versus money lenders. So they're parasites, we're the producers, and there's no reason why the bulk of humanity should be languishing in this horrible captivity. And we can fix it very, very rapidly if we focus on the Achilles heel of the money lenders. That is that we are the energy. We are our spirit-filled bodies are the commercial energy which backs any form of money. Therefore, we should issue the money, the common people can. And that's going to be my proposal. And here's the deal, is there's someone that followed in his footsteps, like Tommy Usury-Free Kennedy. He died a few years ago. And his mission, his life's mission, was to expose the sin of usury. And he had a phrase that says, we can have peace and plenty because there was a usury-free time in the past, and there will be a usury-free time in the future. And in the honor of Jesus and Ezra Pound and righteous Nehemiah the Jew and Henry Garman and Tommy Usury-Free Kennedy, it's my sincere prayer that we focus on this thing and solve it on behalf of our children. The widows and orphans throughout this world need our immediate and urgent focus on this problem. So, we can make songs about this. We are the world kind of stuff. And so this is the video that I'm going to send out. I'm going to read any comments. What do we got here? Thanks for commenting. I appreciate it. Like I just wanted to let that all get done. I got to go in and help mommy. I got 2 kids. Matt Leffler says, if we debate in front of 2 people, does the debate actually exist? Yes, it does, because people watch it later, and I get more than 2 people watching my videos. Richard. My birth name is Richard. Yep. Rick means useless. He writes some scripture in here. Man, I can't read all that. Talking about rebuilding the walls, right? So that's what we need. Ezra chapter 4. So yes, we do need to rebuild the walls. That's what this is all about. Joshua Robert Castaneda says temple exchange was precious metals weighted to cannabis. I got to look that up. Sounds interesting. Take the power back. Jim Callahan, fellow pool guy. Rick Davis, fellow pool guy, right? Yo, let's do it. Jim, camel versus a gnat issues, right? That's so. Jim Callahan says small axe, my righteous brother. Joshua says we are all right, but we gonna do. But what are we gonna do? We're all right, but what are we gonna do about it? Exactly. That's the mindset. The sacred plant. Jim Callahan says. Congrats, Jubilee. Joby Weeks was just Ron Paul is actually going to deliver him and Stephanie's baby. He was just on the Ron Paul show. Joby just had a child. Hey, Christian. I'm making a video right now. Do you want to come on for a minute? Okay. Come on, man. All right. So the proposal is for him. Jim Callahan. See, I'm reading Jim. See Jim's picture right there? Who can grab them by the nevermind? Here, put you down. Say bye-bye. Okay, who can grab? Okay, Joshua Robert Castaneda says, when Moses made the anointing oil in Exodus 30, first there was a census given and gave 10 grams of cannabis or other agricultural commodities, precious metals, and such to create one community holding. So yeah, there's a census, basically. It's in Exodus 30. I agree. Thumbs up from Carrie Pennington. Jim Callahan says foundational. Joshua Robert Castaneda says govern, control, mental, Latin for the mind. Government literally means mind control. Agreed. John Beecham joined. Thanks, John. Jim says correct. Great album by Stephen Marley, but deeper yet, who controls the government? The global central bankers, mercantilists. Gideon joined. Thanks for coming, Gideon. Robert Castaneda says governor Jesse Ventura. That's a good idea. Jim says Bradley Manning. Brett Jones says, are you thinking of Adam Kokesh? Yep, he would be Ken O'Keefe. That's the name I was looking for. Thank you. I was, but he's somebody I'm friends with on Facebook. Okay, so I'm coming in. I'll be in a second, Mommy. All right, so that's it for the evening. Thanks for listening, guys. And I will edit this video, and it will be part of the Solution Fests, the solution search. And if you want to type in any particular solutions you guys might have, that would be awesome. And I'll send you a copy of the video as well. Thanks for listening.